And my first guest here on 107.9 WEBE 108's Nighttime is a performer seen regularly down in Greenwich at the Arcadia Cafe, one of my favorite spots in southern Connecticut. That's how we heard about him. But, of course, you've seen him all over Westchester County, especially if you have kids, and darn near all over the country. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. And if we're nice, he brought a beautiful guitar. Might sing for us. Here's Graham Clarke. Hi, Graham.
Hi, Robbie. How you doing?
Good. Well, you are caffeinated today. I can barely contain you in this little room.
I know. I bounce off the walls of my car as I'm coming, you know?
Well, tell me a little bit about how you started performing and your special brand of Graham Clarke music for those that may not be familiar.
Well, after I graduated from Boston College, my wife Peggy and I, who was in the theology department, I was in the philosophy department. So
that's a clash right there.
Right. There's a lot of arguments just off the bat there. So we moved down to Westchester, and after teaching in the public schools in the Bronx for 2 years, my sister-in-law Janine, who now teaches in Yorktown in Westchester, said, why don't you take your guitar around to the schools and see? And I really had no faith that that could possibly work. And I did anyway, because I had no job prospects at the time. And it really worked out. People, I don't know why, but people really seemed to buy it with both hands as soon as they saw me in front of the kids. I had not a lot of experience in front of kids. It just seemed to work out right, where the rubber hits the road.
Are you one of those crazy uncles at Christmas who all the kids want to hang out with you?
Dude, completely. Yeah. I'm the guy with the Xbox 360 under one arm and, the Starbucks in the other arm. Absolutely. Sure. I am the crazy uncle. I don't have any children of my own yet, but I've received some warnings from people that you should really take it easy once I get my own kids.
Now, how long have you been doing this, performing professionally?
Professionally? Well,
sure.
I guess I started in college, but nobody was paying me. 1995.
Okay.
The bubble was just burgeoning on the internet stocks, and there was a lot of money in the middle class, as it turned out. And I had no idea if this. This is all ex post facto. And I
Too
started.
Bad that's all in the past. Huh? No, that's not funny.
Except for that.
Just kidding. Got to make light of a bad situation.
Right, dude. You know, we're back in the Depression. Luckily, the arts thrive in the Depression, so
everybody needs a happy release.
You know, and apparently, 1995, this was also the case. There were a lot of children in Westchester County. I don't know why. I just was in the right place at the right time, like most of us. We just hit the right place at the right time. And I went out there and I walked into Borders in Mount Kisco, unannounced.
Really?
With my stool and my guitar. I'm 25, okay, so at the time. So I sit down and I start playing, and the kids start coming out of the shelves, as I figured they would, you know. And they did. And we had a group of about 30 or 40 kids all sitting very politely and nicely in front of me. And the manager comes out and says, "Hi, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just decided I'd come in and play the guitar." And she said, and she smiled. She was a very nice woman. Lisa Friedman was her name. And she said, well, maybe we can talk about having you come in regularly. Right. And so that started. And then later on, back in the office, she said, you just can't walk in. Right? And I came back with, well, it did get me into this office and did get me, and if you have enough chutzpah, it seems, you can get in anywhere.
That's a great story. We're speaking here with Graham Clarke. I was asking the year you started, because I remember being a wee little lad in the early 80s. You'd go to the public library, they'd have music for the kids, and we were introduced to Raffi and to Bill Harley. And I wonder if, first of all, you know those gentlemen, and if there were any influence on what it is you do today.
Raffi was an enormous influence on what I did. I had no idea what to do with children. I really had never been in front of children. And my sister-in-law, the same one who said you should go out, I mean, there's music in my blood. My first cousin is Alan Silvestri, the guy who wrote the music for Far. Okay, yeah, okay.
Back to the Future, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Very good, Robbie. Wow. Yes. And I always say Forrest Gump because that's what most people know. He lives out in California. Anyway, so it's in my blood. I mean, my mother sang, my father sang, but I had never really done it in front of children. That's a real niche kind of audience to be in front of, and you
really,
can't.
You say niche, I would say niche.